Welcome to How's Your ePresence? This show is produced by ePresence, and I am Mark Galvin, your host for today's show. We are glad that you are here to discover new things and new ways to manage your digital space a little better. So we speak to small and medium-sized businesses on ways that you can solve those burning digital marketing questions. And we're always trying to bring on great guests that can answer them. We always tee these shows up with a how-to question. So how do I get a better SEO? How do I appear better on camera? How do I get a better website? How do I do email marketing better? We like to answer all those questions. We're creating a library of great content out there on YouTube. We would love it if you would go back on YouTube and search through our library, and I bet we answer a question for you. Our shows are officially live on either Tuesday at 10 a.m. or on Thursdays at 3. Love for you to make a note, put it on your calendar, or if you subscribe to one of our shows, you'll get the notification when we go live, like here we are live now. We send a notification to LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube to everybody that subscribes so they know we're live. They can tune in and drop in and give us some feedback. If you have an idea, you have something that you would like to have answered, let us know. Send us a notification anywhere you can find us on any social media platform. Remember, our universal handle is ePresenceME, just like our website. Our website's ePresence.me. Well, our handles are minus the dot, ePresenceME. Send us a notification anywhere. We will go out and find somebody to answer that question. Or if you know someone who would be a great guest for us, let us know. Send them over our way. We'll reach out to them and bring them onto the show. If you're tuning in live, submit some questions. Jump into that chat box. Let me see. Do I have it on the screen? I do now. We'll see those questions. We'll throw them at our guest. We'll get your question answered. That's sort of like getting a free consulting session. And wait till you see the guests we have on today. There's going to be some great data from today's talk. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about converting followers into dollars on Instagram. I know there's a lot of you out there that are on Instagram. You'd love to understand, how can I make some money on Instagram? Stick around. We'll tell you how. We also are going to answer the question about making email marketing better. Have we had people talk about email marketing in the past? Yes, but there's always something new to learn about email marketing. There's always something that we haven't considered. Morgan and I love when we have people to come on and talk about email marketing because we're always trying to make ours better. I bet we're going to learn something new today. Also, would you like to get more clients as a solopreneur? We're going to also talk about that. So these are some great topics. Stick around. We'll make sure that you get to learn great things about all these wonderful topics. In the future, when you're looking for this show, we want you to simply search for ePresence. How do I convert more followers to dollars on Instagram? That'll be the title of today's show. All right, good. Let's see. Where am I? I think that's it. Let me tell you about our guest. Our guest is Aleya Harris with Flourish Marketing. Let me tell you a little bit about Aleya. This is awesome. She believes that small businesses, that all business owners should make money at what they love doing. Amen. I love that. She's an award-winning marketer with over a decade of experience. She and her team at Flourish Marketing develop high-converting email, social media, and website copy. Oh my God, isn't that fantastic? We all hate to write. Having somebody that can put that together for us and do it well, that's awesome. She focuses on education and energetic business coaching solutions. I think I'm going to circle that. I want her to tell us what that means. They develop profit-driving marketing strategies to help entrepreneurs. She has served as an NES health practitioner and is certified as a story brand guide. All right, folks. Ask your questions. We're going to bring Aleya onto the screen here in a second. So if you would like to throw a question to her, if you post it, we will ask it. All right. Well, let's do this. Where is Aleya? Are you out there? There she is. Welcome.
I am here. Thank you so much. That was such a lovely and pleasant intro.
Well, I am glad to hear that. And the reason is I'm glad to hear that is because I carve up stuff when I do intros and I don't always do it well. So if it worked well, that makes me very happy.
2 thumbs up for me.
Fantastic. So where are you? Where are you in the world?
I'm based in Los Angeles, California.
LA. All right, that's
LA.
fantastic. How long have you been in LA?
Well, I've been in LA since 2004.
Okay.
So, I mean, I guess I'm just going to tell my age, but I graduated from high school, came down, and I went to University of Southern California, and I just stayed down here.
Oh my goodness. Wow. And I can't blame you. I lived in San Francisco for 5 years early in my career, and I
Mhm.
loved the West Coast. In fact, I think I'd still be there if it wasn't for family. We started having kids, and
Oh,
my
yeah.
wife and I decided we needed babysitters. So we came
Yeah,
back to the East
blame you.
Coast. So I want to go back to this. In your bio, you said there's a note here, you focus on bioenergetic business coaching. What is that?
So our job at Flourish Marketing is to help empire building entrepreneurs flourish in business and in life. Bioenergetic business coaching takes your energy alignment and then matches it with business strategy to help you get there to your
Oh,
goals.
cool.
When I was talking to people, we were doing strategy sessions, and I would ask questions like, well, what is the problem that you're solving and who are you solving it for? And they weren't able to answer those questions in a way that had in an enduring legacy, an enduring presence for the messaging of their brand, because they truthfully really didn't know. They had some blockages within their mentality, within their energy, that were preventing them from speaking their truth, creating a one-liner, creating marketing messaging that was authentic and
Sure.
differentiated. So we
Awesome.
start a little earlier in the process. We help them figure out who they are, clear those blockages, then do their messaging, and then implement that messaging to get them clients they actually like working with, not ones that they dread answering the
Oh,
phone for.
so Aleya, have you ever fired a client? Have
Yes,
you
I
ever done
have.
that?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have. Yes, I
It
have.
kind of feels good, doesn't it?
A little bit, a little bit.
Yeah.
It feels good, and then you're like, "How do I never do this to myself
Right.
again?" Is
And
usually the question I ask.
and honestly, I really think if you're in business and you haven't had this, God bless you.
Right.
If you, chances are likely you have a client that you wish, gosh, this person sucks about 90% of the life out of me, but only gives me about 10% of my revenue. Those are the
Exactly.
people that you should eloquently say, we're not a good fit.
No.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I'm done. Like,
100%.
it's not me, it's you.
It's that is really what you want to say, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
That's
You
the
know,
exact wording. I'm a copywriter. I
yeah,
know these things. That's the exact wording.
that
Please don't be mad.
the thing that now, and I'll never forget this. I just said, our contract states that we both have a 30-day out clause. We've decided it is in our best interest to exercise the 30-day out clause. So
Right.
we'll be working with you for 30 days. We'll do what we can to help you find another solutions provider, but this is probably the best thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a
And it
much
worked.
nicer way of saying
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
it still was uncomfortable. I don't mind telling you. I did
Oh, it's
not want to
definitely
have
gonna
that
be
conversation.
uncomfortable. Yeah, but at the same time, when you're done, you have this weight that gets lifted off of you, and you're able to then take all that brain power and use it for clients that you like, and then use it to bring in more clients that bring in more revenue.
It's, we got in business and you and I are in similar spaces, right?
Mhm.
So we focus exclusively on social media. The reason we do this is because we enjoy the work, we enjoy helping people. And when the work when it is not enjoyable, it is so hard
Wow.
to do the work. We honestly did, and that was one of the problems. I said, I really can't provide the type of service that that someone needs, right? And that's an important part of making sure we deliver. Well, we can talk about this. We don't. I don't want to stay on this subject. I think this is interesting. Maybe you come back and we talk about how
Hey, there we
to
go.
fire clients. And then we say, this is how you make sure you never have to
Route
fire a
to
client.
fire
But
the
that's,
client. Yes.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, absolutely. So I want to get an Instagram.
Okay.
And you're an expert on Instagram. We have not had a ton of people come on to talk about this. So I'm so happy you're here. And there's some new things that I'm sure will come up from the way Instagram has changed. But I do want to start off with the top level, and let's see where this goes.
Okay.
The question is, how does someone better convert followers into dollars on Instagram? What's the trick?
Well, actually, the changes kind of hit right there. If you had asked me last week, my answer would have been totally different than it is today.
Wow.
Instagram CEO came forward and said, we are no longer a photo sharing platform, to which everyone went, what?
Exactly. What are you talking about?
Like, so what exactly are you doing? Basically Instagram, which I, disagree with this mood, but I'm not Instagram. They have decided that they would basically like to be TikTok. So they are moving more into videos. So if you have been avoiding reels like the plague, now is the time to get into reels and stories.
I have to admit something here.
You've been avoiding them like the plague?
No, I love reels.
Oh, nice.
I love them.
Nice.
And now we don't do them. I mean, honestly, hey, Morgan, this is probably one of those things we need to add to our to-do list, like it's not long enough already. But and for those of you who don't know, Morgan is our producer. She's also our senior e-publicist. She's the one that does all the work at ePresence. So we'll end up talking about that afterwards, I'm sure, Morgan. But I always end up on my Instagram app. And as I go through the typical rotation of the stories and the feed, then I go straight to reels. And because they make me happy.
Yeah.
And here's the thing on reels. It's not long before I get to the end of the new reels and I start seeing stuff I've already seen. Now on TikTok, that doesn't happen. There's so much there. And I think that's probably what they're searching for.
Yeah, there's really searching to be I would say a TikTok competitor, but from what I've read and heard, it's almost like they're searching to be TikTok. So
wow. Yep.
You have to keep in mind a couple of things. One, this means that you need to hit on more lighthearted pieces of your brand while still telling a story to have people want to know more. So whereas, in a feed post, especially a carousel post, you would say, here's the 5 steps to doon, 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 and whatever that is. Now it's like, how do you take those 5 steps and turn it into something that's engaging and entertaining? When I speak on stages and I talk, well, my thing is I like to edutain you. So I want to educate you and entertain you. Now, how can you do that in a way that's still brand congruent through video via reels and stories? So there's slightly different formats there. Right. The other thing to keep in mind as well is there are still captions. So people are scrolling through, but if your content is interesting, people click on those captions to read. So really be intentional about what's in your caption. What is your call to action? Whereas before on your feed, I would say, okay, maybe have a call to action every 3, or everyone has some type of comment below. That's a call to action, but a light one, right? Not a, click the link in my bio to buy. But you want to be more intentional with your calls to actions because the reels also get a cold audience faster than your feed. The algorithm is intentionally designed to show your content to new people who do not follow you. So
now, I think that's an important thing to highlight, right? And that's one of the things about the about TikTok that really made TikTok so great is that you could reach a ton of people that you organically reach a ton of people that you would not be able to reach on other platforms. Yeah. So that's a very important point. If they're doing that, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal. And you want to make sure that then you're maximizing that. If you're going to reach a whole bunch of strangers, do you have a messaging
platform? Got to be good.
Yeah, it's got to be good. Is your messaging platform solid? And do you talk about the same types of things consistently so that when people are seeing your videos, they can get who you are, what you're about, and how you can help pretty quickly? Because they aren't necessarily then scrolling through your whole feed or you're popping up every once in a while. They might see one good reel video from you, and that's your chance to capture their attention.
Wow, that's pressure. That's right. That's pressure. Oh no, it's the one chance.
What a lot of people do with that pressure then is then they go hire a video company and they take 10 days to create this reel. Don't do that. Don't.
Okay, well, it's good to know. All right, don't spend all the money on it, right?
It needs to feel organic. They're trying to create that community feel, that natural engagement, that natural authenticity. Take your phone out and act like a normal human being, right? You might have your messaging behind you in your brain. I want to get out this message. We're going to get this, but I have a series. This is my content strategy. I don't want to see any of that. What I want to see is, how are you connecting with me, and how are you showing empathy for my problem and my need really quickly, and how are you interesting, right?
Right. That's hard.
Like, it is hard. It's
hard.
going to push marketers even further than we're pushed now.
I love it. I love it. And, and here's something else I think is really important is if you're a company and you're trying to figure this out, it may be time, if Instagram is where your audience is. First of all, make sure that Instagram makes good sense for you. If your audience is on Instagram, don't do this. But if they are, then it may be worth your while too. And Aleya, I think if you want to be successful and you want to have some actors involved, that's not a bad thing. If you have the money to do it, that can be engaging. But make sure if you bring somebody in that they can show up consistently. And they don't just show up once and disappear, because then it looks like stock photo. You don't want that either. No,
because then you want them, they're now the face of your brand. So you have some faces in there. And you can batch create. You can batch create reels.
Which I love that. Yeah.
And yes, I'm not like all the people with video production companies like, did she just tell people not to hire us? That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking to the people about, I'm not going to do anything until it's 100% perfect. And that's the wrong mentality to approach reels with.
So Aleya, can you and I talk? I mean, this is just between you and me.
Just between you and I, yeah.
So my wife and I were talking about having kids. This is, actually it's already came up. We were in San Francisco, and we had decided that we were going to wait until everything was perfect. We had enough money. We had the right house, had the right car, blah, blah, blah. And I just want you to know, we didn't wait, because if we had, we wouldn't have any kids.
You would never have any children. Right. You would never
we wouldn't.
Children.
And so waiting until it's perfect means you're never going to do it. So don't wait until it's perfect. I do like the idea, dip your toe in the water. I say that all the time, especially for social. Just dip your toe in the water, right? If you want to do this, try it. Because in the beginning, and there was a lot of pressure, right? Let's back up. You just said some things about being on in the reels that, make sure it's engaging, make sure it's wonderful. Yes, all right. Well,
there is pressure. I'm not going to lie. I feel the pressure for my clients.
Right. Well, maybe you should dip your toe in the water and just kind of feel it out. And, don't let that pressure hit you, because you're going to understand better and you're going to do more with it once you start to understand that medium, and there's a rhythm to it, right? There is something to that, from the process of concept to execution to posting it. Figure that out, and you'll be better. You'll be a better marketer for it.
There's certain things that haven't changed either. Like consistency still rules. So don't post one reel and then post another one in 2 months, and then consistency is still key on social media or marketing in general. So and then also as marketers, we know it's like a dirty little secret. We have no idea what the heck we're doing. 90%.
Don't say, wait a minute. All right, Morgan, we got to zap that. You did not just say that.
I did.
Nobody's listening, right?
Nobody's listening. We're trying to use data, use metrics. I use psychographic behaviors. I do research. I'm trying to piece a puzzle together, and I have that information to make my best educated guess to get everyone in the right direction using the trends. Something like this happens. The best thing that I can do for my clients is to dive into. My very first reel for my own self was me bobbing up and down with words on the screen that says, had a great day at work, heading off to Pilates. And then I headed off like this. In 20 minutes, it had 1,000 views.
Unbelievable. Right. Yeah.
Never would I ever think. And that's not anything on Reels. That's maybe someone's tipped their toe to watch a little bit of it. It didn't get the million views you could get with a really good content.
And what I love about that is you just dipped your toe in the water. Say, okay, I think I'll do this. Let's see what happens. And then it got 1,000 views. Went, oh, let's take this a little more seriously next time.
Right. Let's take it.
That's okay.
And it's then you're like, oh, well, what message do I want to put? I had a picture. I'm running a free abundance retreat, right? And I had a boomerang that I took, put it on my stories. I then put it on my reels. All it was me flipping the page of the workbook. So flip back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. 900 views in 10 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, it's just amazing.
And I'm not saying those are big numbers for me, but people that are in reels, they're girl, please. But
Yeah.
this is like my third reel, and it took me, I don't know, 10 seconds. It's literally all I had to do was flip the page. So when I'm saying don't overthink it, think about the strategy, but don't overthink the content execution. Because you can spend 8-10 hours creating a 15-second reel, but what's the ROI on that? Always remember, social media is still a marketing channel. You're still measuring ROI like you would any other channel.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. And I love that. All right. So we're at 20 minutes. We could talk about this more. And if we get a question, we'll go there. Let's make that. Well, we can always return it.
Mhm.
I want to talk about email marketing because I'm really curious about this topic because it's something that I love to learn about. I got to switch colored pens so I can make notes because I got notes. I have so many notes from Instagram.
The organization. That's awesome.
So, and Morgan's making tons of notes there. We always convert everything to a blog. And so we do a little blog and we'll embed the video at the blog, quoting you the whole time, of course.
Oh,
so
well, thank you.
Absolutely. So how does one get started with email marketing? And this is one of the greatest, most valuable questions there is, because if you don't have an email marketing plan, get one.
Get one. Because I'm so glad we started off with social, because that's what everyone says to me. They're like, hey, yeah, I need marketing. Get me on Instagram. I'm like,
right.
Let's pull back for a second. What are your goals? What are you trying to do? And often it's not get me on Instagram as first, because Instagram and social media posting is a long game.
Right.
When you get started with email marketing, most people expect me to tell you the tech. What I'm going to tell you is you need to answer one question. What is the burning problem that you solve for your ideal client?
Burning problem for ideal client. Got it.
Once you have that answer, then you're like, let's say the answer is that you're a landscape architect and you solve needing to have the best house on the block because Jim over there keeps beating me with his lawn, right? Like that.
Right.
It's not, anybody can mow a lawn. You will give the best house on the block. So then you say, okay, if someone were taking their very first steps to beat Jim, to get the best house on the block, what information would make them feel like they had a quick win? For me, let's say my name is Jill. Jill's trying to beat Jim. If I'm Jill and I'm like, okay, what actually are the 5 things that I could do really quickly to like spruce it up? Maybe not a large cash investment, but like would give me the biggest bang for my buck, right?
Right.
You, savvy marketer, create a guide, the top 5 easiest things to do to have the best house on the block. The best yard on the block. Wordsmith a little bit.
Yeah.
That becomes a lead magnet. What you can also do is you turn that into PDF. It could be a video series. You could even tweak it slightly and have it be a quiz. Quizzes are my favorite lead magnets because they convert the best. Because again, it's entertaining. It's not, I got to read this. It's like, let me find out something more about myself. Always keep in mind when you're a marketer and you're doing marketing, you are marketing to narcissists with short attention spans. They want to know.
We're all narcissists. And that's not, just to frame it, we're all narcissistic because that's just how we view the world through our own prism.
You consume information.
Yeah. Right. How does this affect me? What's good about this? What about this helps me? 100%.
What about this helps me? What about this helps me?
Right.
JR says I use quiz funnels all the time. So thank you, JR, for I appreciate you. One of the things that you want to keep in mind when you're doing anything is Instagram. I know we're not going all the way back to the conversation, but I'm going to use it as an example. Instagram is following a trend of psychology, and they kind of started it too. But they're riding the wave of people wanting to learn, but they're being inundated with so much information that they actually just need a little bit of a break, and they want to take social and digital marketing back to what it once was just like, how do I find quick wins? How do I be entertained? How do I take some of the burden off of myself? That's what you need to do with your lead magnet. Then you run ads to your lead magnet. I'm not getting into Facebook ads right now because that's like the wild, wild west at the moment.
Especially with the changes they made recently.
Yes, everybody's changing.
Yeah.
Instagram is like, we only want you to watch videos. Apple's like, yeah, but only videos you want to watch. And Facebook is like, I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, it's
right, right. It is. It is totally the wild, wild west. I love that you're saying it that way. I think that's awesome.
It's like the wild, wild west. So then when you have you're running some type of ad, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn ads to this lead magnet, you're running the ads where your ideal customer is hanging out, and you're collecting their email addresses. Then you're using your email service provider. The older school ones are like Constant Contact or MailChimp. I prefer ConvertKit or Flowdesk if you're into more visuals.
Okay.
Then you're automatically sending them a nurture sequence right off the bat, or a sales sequence that has about 5 to 6 emails that the goal is to, depending on what your business is, book a call. If you're that landscape architect, to book a call, get a quote.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And then you also email them weekly with a blog, with a video, with some tips to keep that audience warm. Why? Because when you have someone on your email list, that's your actual squad. That's your crew. That's your audience. Because you can control the type of messaging. You can control when the messaging is sent and when they can see it, as opposed to Instagram, where you have no control over that algorithm.
Yeah, and I love to remind people that an email list you own. Yeah. Nobody can take it from you.
It's an asset.
Your connections or the people following you on Instagram, you really don't own them, right? Own them. And Instagram could one day go, we're gone, and all of that's gone. But if your email list is there, you still have them, and they are your peeps. They are your target audience. They have opted in. Yep. They want your stuff. So that is extremely valuable. And I do want to, and I love that you're watching the comments better than me. So I do want to bring this up on the screen here. So J.R. McNair, who runs a business networking magazine in the Atlanta area, great guy, commented that he uses quiz funnels all the time. And I think it's really interesting. It's something we'll need to highlight in our blog for this show, is that the quizzes, you've said, that actually does better for, you find that the engagement is great. Tell me this, how do you format your the quizzes so that, and you've seen this, some people ask they throw a quiz out, and you can see this on, and I love it on LinkedIn. A lot of people will do it. But it's all about them. You could see it's not even a question that seems helpful.
Research, like that is my biggest pet peeve, that they're turning it into market research. This is not market research. This is a sales.
Right. So how do you what is the guide that not market research, but what guide do you use that you share? Let's make your quiz work well. This is what you should do.
Then the number one problem, or something that is a cultural affinity with your group. So let's say that you run a yoga studio. You could say, what's your best yoga style? But most yogis are like, nah, I get it. I do Bikram, I'm fine. Or I do, I'm into flow, or whatever it is, right?
Okay.
What you could say is like, what type of yoga outfit matches your zodiac sign? It's like,
are you into yoga? That's pretty good, by the way. I like that you came up with that. Yeah, it's good.
I'm a copywriter. I copyright on the fly. It's what I do. But you know, it's not so serious. I think that if I had to underscore some of the messaging, it's marketing. It used to be like, let's hit it in the center. And now it's more about people finding their squad, their crew. And if you're like, I do find that pink makes me happy when I'm in downward dog. I wonder if that means that's because I'm a Virgo. Like, they would take that quiz, and then you're selling on the outcome pages, which you should really only have like 3 outcomes. If you have more, it gets a little complicated. And then if you're selling your email sequence, especially if you're selling yoga apparel, I mean, come on.
Sure. So there's so much, and I love this. This is fantastic. We're officially over. We're officially at 30 minutes, but I'm going to ask you another question. And I think this is so important. Is you've talked about multiple pages, an email, even a campaign, if you will. There is a methodology for this, and I'd love for you to kind of just button that down. Why would someone want to send somebody that's opted in on their email a series of emails? What good will that do?
A couple of things. It keeps you top of mind so that they understand that you're there. It also helps them understand what you have to offer. You're not blasting them with emails all at once, and you're building a relationship. So when you first meet your spouse, you weren't like, hey, yeah, like I saw you at the coffee shop, let's get married. You would get worried. That's creepy. Instead, you went on some dates, right?
Right.
And so you're dating, you're courting them before you start to hard sell to them. They need to know about you. Marketing is the art of building lucrative relationships, no matter what platform you're using. If you're trying to build lucrative relationships with people, you don't start off by telling them that they should spend money with you. You're not a prostitute, you're a marketer. Think about being.
You don't go in for a kiss and you just met them at the coffee shop.
Exactly. If you're starting there to think about, okay, I really want this person to marry me. This is like love at first sight.
Okay.
What do I need to show?
Happens all the time.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
People constantly meeting at Starbucks.
Right.
What do I need to, as opposed to what do I need them to do for me, always what do I need to do for them? And how do I show them that I am an integral part of the story that they're building for themselves? An integral part of helping them solve their problems, an integral part of helping them get the transformation that they are looking for. And when you're able to do that, that's what the nurture sequence is for you to set up objections and knock them down, for you to set up problems to demonstrate empathy, for you to show them how your expertise relates to helping them solve those problems. Don't just say, we have a combined 41 years of experience. First of all, that always sounds weird. Like we're all able to like put a brain together and like, I'll take my 10 and you take, anyways. But if they're looking for new, fresh ideas, you saying you have a combined 41 years of experience exactly shoot you in the foot. Right. So make sure that when you're talking in your nurture sequence or your sales sequence, that it is targeted towards who you actually want to do business with.
I love that. So many great things. I love the art of building a lucrative relationship. That's marketing. It's the art of building a lucrative relationship. I think that's fantastic. Aleya, I'm so thrilled that you were here today. This has been great information. We could go on for hours. If we had met for a cup of coffee, it would be one of the things both of us would go, we gotta go. This has been fun. I do appreciate it. And I hate that we do have a clock. Tell me this, where do you want people to go to find you, to connect with you and your team?
Absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram, my team at flourishmarketing.co. You can also find us at www.flourishmarketing.co. It's .co, not .com. .com is not me.
I love that. I love it. That's fantastic. Well, we have here at ePresence, we have ePresence.me. And same thing. We got to get people to remember that. So we always say it's ePresence.me because it's all about you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, those extensions are, where the .coms are sometimes just a little too elusive.
Yes, they are. And
Aleya, there's that. Aleya, this has been awesome. I want to stay in touch. Hang around. Don't run away. I know you're a busy person. We will come back and talk to you off the broadcast and do a little button up. So hang out. Thanks for being here. I so appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
All right. My pleasure. I tell you what, I'm not repeating her on purpose. Aleya is awesome. And if you're watching this, you should share this with people that are in the space of their, how do they understand their own marketing? We just taught you, we shared a lot of great information. We didn't teach you anything. We gave you some great information in it. Quite frankly, Aleya is an entertainer too, in an entertaining way. Share this with those folks and reach out to Aleya. It sounds like she could help you understand, how do you communicate to an audience? Because I'll be honest, not everybody understands that. If you're a financial person and you understand how to build a financial heavyweight company, you probably need somebody on the marketing side. Aleya would be great for you. So what do we do at ePresence? So we love that you're here on How's Your ePresence. This show is sponsored by ePresence. We are a full-service social media agency. What does that mean? That means we offer personal social media management, which is a little out of the box. Normally, this is not what most social media companies offer. We offer company social media management. So we'll do a full company, manage the company branding on all the company channels, but we also bring in the executive team to make sure they are activated, because you've got to make sure your leadership is on social media, because there are a lot of people that engage exclusively with them. We offer consulting, we offer training, and we also do something called eForensics, where we'll audit social media for lawyers who have their clients need to have their social media checked out, or potentially the competition. So because you're a How's Your ePresence listener, we offer a 5% discount on all our services. You can grab that by going to our website. You can go to epresence.me/How's Your ePresence, or give us a call at our phone number and we will offer that. Just say, hey, I am a How's Your ePresence listener. I want 5% off. You'll get it. So how's your ePresence? This show is everywhere. You can find us live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can also find us on a ton of other places, including a lot of all the podcast channels you can find us. But the thing that's important, if you want to interact with us live, you need to subscribe. So hit that subscribe button over there and make sure you get notified when we go live. If you're a podcast listener, add us to any of your podcast apps. The shows that go live, like this show with Aleya, will show up, it's probably a few weeks down the road, but it will appear on our podcast channel. We're always adding content every week. So by subscribing, you'll make sure you don't miss a thing. And you can find all of our shows by going to epresence.me. That's epresence.me, because it's all about you for all of our podcasts. This show is produced by ePresence. Our producer, writer, and social media extraordinaire is Morgan Wood. We appreciate all the work she does. Until next time, for my guest, Aleya Harris, I'm Mark Galvin, and this has been How's Your ePresence?